This is a story of how we tried to make a game in 48 hours. So, we find out that GMTK is going to run his annual game jam in a few days, and we decided to take part in it. On a certain day, the theme was revealed: Roll of the Dice. We started to brainstorm possible ideas, really trying to think out of the box. In such a short period of time, we realized that we had a number of options. Make a really simple game based on some creative idea. Base the game around the story, caring less about the gameplay and trying to impress people with a deep narrative. And the hardest one, to make a gameplay-centered project, spending the time trying to perform the advanced programming and high-quality graphics. You may guess what we chose. Eventually, we came up with an idea for a hack-and-slash video game where the weapon is able to have an elemental power of fire, water, and, green?
Green.
Don't think it's an element though.
Enemies will also have the elements attached and have a different class. Each weapon's power is effective against the enemy of the opposite element, causing mild damage to a neutral one, and even healing the same elemental enemy. You can also have a neutral weapon which does not give you any elemental power and advantages. Sounds alright for now, but you may ask, how is this related to the theme of Roll of the Dice? Here's the twist. You can't just choose any type of weapon in the real time. The dice will decide it for you. You defeat your enemies, earn points for that, and at the right moment, roll the dice. Dice can show not only a neutral side or elemental side, but also can even hurt your character if you get this thing, which adds some spiciness and risk to each roll. But that's not all. The thing is that you can literally control your luck. By defeating a full wave of enemies, you will receive a new type of dice with different configurations, from well-balanced and friendly to ridiculously chaotic ones. Change your dice in real time based on the situation, give it a roll, and come what may. From a total of 13 dice, which one will you choose? You can find out in the game. Anyways, we decided to stick with that idea and started working. From the very beginning of the project, we realized that we won't be able to implement all the things we came up with, so we prioritized the things to make, the most important parts first. So the final release lacks some interesting features. Initially, we wanted to make it so the player can tweak his stats between enemy waves, but decided to scrap this idea as we didn't have enough time to implement it. There's also a lack of some quality of life features such as pause and settings. Some visual effects aren't present either, like particles, transition between game screens, and screen shake. The last is the most painful, as screen shake is kinda important for that type of game. But the real hard decisions were waiting for us ahead. Shibirtest spent almost 6 hours making high-detailed animations for a player and then realized that we are not going to do this in time with this style. Too many graphics are needed to be done, like enemy sprites, backgrounds, tiles, and UI. So he took responsibility to move to more simple but still appealing visuals. On the programming side, I also faced some challenges. I was under constant pressure between my perfectionism on the one side and the time running out on the other. I found myself in situations where I spend too much time on the visual presentation, like coding 3D dice and UI animations. And finally, the last hours before the deadline, Shibirtest was the real hero of that time. He was not only drawing new things, but also takes the job of finding music, sounds, playtesting, and suggesting balance changes. While I was working on fixing bugs and implementing the audio system simultaneously, one of the interesting issues was, for example, when the enemy is colliding with a wall in front of him, he's trying to jump out in another direction. But that leads him to jump out of slopes also. So how do you fix this? Just disable the slopes at the exact time of checking that wall collision and you're good to go. There were a lot of little things like that here and there. We were coming up to the final minutes, so we uploaded the last build with the final fixes, and that's it. In conclusion, besides all the ups and downs, it was a pure pleasure and excitement to work on this project. We want to thank GMTK for holding this event and for the opportunity for us to show you and ourselves what we are capable of. Thank you for watching the video till the end, and if you're interested in the game, the link is in the description, so feel free to try it. If for the time that you watch this video, voting is still going on, please consider voting it fairly. That will mean a lot to us. See you later.